Hey everyone, it's Ken.
Ray.
Two Drunk Brothers Garage.
Back with Goldie.
Yeah.
I think the last video we ended where we soaked down everything underneath the console with some PB Blaster. So today we're gonna two main goals today: alternator and get this thing back to where the shifter's working.
Yeah.
If that goes really smooth, I also have all the brakes to do the brakes. We'll probably start with the rears if we get that far today.
Yeah.
And then leave the fronts. Can't find front drums, so maybe just leave those alone till I get back.
Right.
But anyhow, yeah. Goldie still chucking away at the little stuff. We're working on getting her really just a nice driver. That's what we're after. So we're still stuck, and after we soaked everything down with PB Blaster, but Kenny said maybe I need to put this back together with the spring action so we can get it to where it's supposed to work, right? Because you're supposed to be able to, the springs go in there. And anyhow, we're going to put the handle back together real quick to see if that helps with what we need to do. Okay. Kenny had a good idea. Not sure that the spring, anyhow, we still had to wiggle and jiggle it a little bit, but we got it to where we need it. So now
we can finish taking that apart, and then we can slide the rest of the console off of that.
And we can just inspect everything. And like I said, because when I get home next time, we'll probably do the carpeting in this. Carpeting is a couple $100. Rest of the interior is just going to get a bath. But the console's got to come out anyhow to do the carpeting. So the console will probably come out and stay out. But this is good news. So we are going to go ahead and tear this out, get the console up, and look at this. I then still got to slide back underneath and reattach the shifting linkage because I had to detach it a little bit so I could get it in the drive down at O'Reilly. So here, we're positive progress.
Yep.
And once we got that up in the neutral position, we were able to expose that second screw. So now we should be able to just pull the whole black handle and that piece with it. So there, and then now the console will slide up right over. No, just leave those. Yeah, the console will slide right up over those. So let me grab this piece down here. It's just that bar that goes in the housing. And now Kenny should be able to, I'll let Kenny do it while I'm filming. He should be able to just easy peasy slide that whole console up. And we should be able to see. Oh yeah, she's pretty rusty. Oh yeah, but you can see where we soaked her with PB Blaster. There's the cable coming in. Now, I don't know if I don't think the cable's hung up, but we're gonna find, well, the cable looks like it's moving, but it's not hooked up down underneath. So now, and then that was the piece. Wait, hold on a second, Ken.
Yep.
Well,
oh, okay.
Stop.
No, I was just looking at that.
There's the groove that piece falls down into, and I think that was our.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Well, no, uh-oh, because we're right here. We can pop it up. Maybe. I think it needs some lubrication, folks. So, anyhow, yeah, we're gonna
work on this.
Yep. Okay, after further investigation, we pretty sure we know what happened. One, in my panic, I probably lifted up when I put it in park. So by pulling up on the bottom of the horseshoe, it pulls this part up, which if you guys see that rod drop into the notch, right there is park. So that's park, but this whole thing was slid forward right there, which is not supposed to be.
And then this is loose also.
Oh, wait, so grab your rod back up. We gotta go here and just grab that. How did we do that again? See, this is where it got locked on us, and here we can get it loosened.
Yeah.
So what happened was that rod that's supposed that piece that's supposed to drop in the notches actually dropped. There's the park notch. It dropped over the front
Because this was loose.
because yes, these 3/8 we didn't loosen them. I just loosened that one a little bit, but this was already loose, which allows the whole assembly to come up, which allows that to go higher. Anyhow, it was just a comedy of errors, and it happened to me at the O'Reilly parking lot. So we're going to go ahead and lube this up, tighten this up, and then put the handle back together and see where our action is.
And hook the transmission back up.
Well, we'll check the action of this first.
Right.
Then we'll hook the transmission back up.
Okay, everyone. So I tightened these two screws right there, and that's in the park position. It's kind of hard to see.
Awesome, thanks. And are you going to be in Friday?
It doesn't go all the way forward.
Okay,
no more.
I will probably pop in.
So tightening those two to get these silver brackets down helped out with that problem of that thing sliding all the way forward. So now we'll just put the handle back together and lube everything up.
Okay, Kenny got some white lithium grease spread on everything. He's figured out tightening that down helps, but I think he already filmed that. That's all right. I was over taking care of some work-related items. So
Sorry.
No, he's putting the handle back together, and then maybe I can just lay down here and reattach. There's the shift cable and everything. I'm gonna have to reattach everything, yeah, maybe we can just do it right here in the driveway. We were gonna pull everything out of the garage, and if we do the brake job, we will, but and everything up here is plastic. This is plastic. The top piece is plastic. These are metal in the metal. The inner rails and the outer rails. But so yeah, me panicking, jumping. Those were probably already loose and vibrated. We should probably put some Loctite on those.
On what?
On these two.
Oh.
I think I got some red Loctite. That way they wouldn't back out vibration, loosen and everything.
Well, then I better not put this on then right now.
Why not?
Because
we can pull one out. We can pull this one out. Yeah. I'll go grab the Loctite. All right, Kenny's got it back together, and because we're at the drinker's garage and not the actual working garage, I don't have any Loctite here, but Kenny pointed out we are going to leave the console off, so we can pull those out when we get out to his house the next time and hit it with some Loctite then, just to keep those. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter until we go to put the console back on anyhow, because that's when the problem's going to be if it does that again. But we have that actuating properly now. We could lube up that channel right there. I got some axle grease we can just put on that. Or I guess white lithium will work. And spray that whole cable, maybe.
I was trying to squirt it down and then move it back and forth to get that to work down in that. So that's why that white lithium's right there.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll hit it with some, I got some axle grease. We can do that real quick. But the next thing is to go down and reattach the cable, and so we can actually shift the transmission with this shifter now.
Okay, so it is stuck in drive. Ray is going to start it in drive because I think the neutral safety switch is not working correctly.
And this will work better now that we got a battery in her.
And now it'll work better that we have a battery in it. So we're going to come down here. We're going to come around these trees right here so he can get back out. So Goldie started. So here he comes. And the worst part, we're worried about that because that's a little soft right there. But piece of cake. He's going to come around here. Cut her heart. Woo.
Perfect.
Then he's got to go back out to the cul-de-sac. Brake lights work pretty good. Got all bulbs and stuff in it. So he'll get that. Turn around. He's trying to be a hot rod Harry. We just want to put it in here so we can not lay in the dirt. So that'll make it a little easier not to lay in the dirt to
This will also
work on the...
be a good test fit for the GTO.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, this will... I think the GTO will fit right there just fine.
You don't want to put it out at my shop, evidently.
No, the Honda takes up less room in your shop, so we'll put the Honda out there.
Honda can sit out back under a tarp.
Honda's pristine, man. Don't be knocking on the Honda.
Yeah, but the GTO is more pristine.
Yeah, that's why it's going to sit here instead of your place.
All right, we're going to jack this up so we can get underneath the tranny and get the linkage hooked back up.
All right, well, we got her up. While I'm getting underneath there and going to work on the shifting linkage, Kenny's going to go ahead and
change the alternator out.
Change the alternator. Because we have determined that if we can get it up to Midas today, get a quote on it, I'd rather get the exhaust fixed before we do the brakes. The brakes are working, folks. I mean, they stop and everything. I just want to do the brakes, but the brakes are something Kenny can take care of if I'm gone to work. So and film it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna
get a quote on the exhaust. Maybe I can run it up one day.
I'm hoping they let me drop it off today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You follow me up in car and we just drop it off.
Yeah.
Maybe it's done tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's what we're changing gears here a little bit. But shift linkage, alternator, maybe exhaust. Okay, so to readjust that, because I loosened that trunnion bolt and that shift cable we've moved around, so that's loose. I might have to loosen a little bit. And then we got to set the selector level against the drive stop in the car, which that's the plate. There's the parking notch. So the drive stop is, of course, wind comes along. Drive stop is that back notch. So I'll go set that right now in the car, which that's that notch right there. So right there, that's against the drive stop, and then I'll get down underneath there and tighten the trunnion bolt back up. Forgot to tell you, after I get it against the drive stop, I got to place the transmission in drive, which I know I'm in drive right now because that's how I drove home. Now, because I have this in drive, I'm going to go down there and just tighten that trunnion bolt, and then I'll set the select lever in park and set back drive adjustment. And I will have to look. The back drive adjustment is right here. Set trans in park, push back drive rod up, hold tightly against stop, then tighten screw and clamp to specified torque. Okay, there's the trunnion bolt, there's the shifting cable. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up. This should be all in park. I do got to put a cotter pin back in there because I pulled that off to loosen that a little bit so I could adjust the transmission. So I'm going to tighten that trunnion bolt and then go get I don't know if I got a cotter pin, a small cotter pin, but I got a small piece of wire that I can throw in there. So I'm getting this tightened up on here, and this is held in there with there's a cotter pin right back there holding that whole thing together. So yeah, it's loose, but it's not coming out.
Okay, I was sitting there trying to take the wires off the back of the alternator, and somebody put a nylock locking nut on the main power wire. So we got to put and it's turning the whole post. So I got to put another pair. It should never take two people to change an alternator, I tell you.
But I'm just holding the stud with the
because it's
with
turning.
the vice grips. So another little surprise that Goldie's throwing at us here.
Yep.
Okay, I just got a little piece of wire through there, spun around a couple times. We do have a pretty good leak. I am going to go ahead and just put a ratchet on these pan bolts. We do need to get a pan gasket and filter. Just drop this. Maybe a lot of this leak is coming from there, I'm hoping. I don't know if it's coming out of the bell housing. It could be a front pump. Doesn't look like it's real wet over there. It just looks like it's wet here. I don't know, maybe we got a hole in the bottom of the pan. I don't know. It needs a good power wash too. So in a previous video, I don't know if you guys remember, and I don't know if we showed it, but when Kenny was changing the belts, the main bolt for the alternator, we thought it might be stripped. Well, he's going to put the alternator in, and we find that. Now that's a pretty fresh break, so it probably happened on our ownership of the car, which is fine, no blame. But here's the reason why. Here's the new alternator, and there's the old alternator. So a little bit of a difference there in the distance.
And they had this shoved in
on the bolt, which is just a plastic and
spacer.
You can see where it's kind of mushroomed out a little bit. And when we were tightening up, because I even put a wrench on there and was tightening up, and I was like, ooh, we thought we stripped the bolt, the threads into the head. So we just stopped. It was tight. So yeah, they backyard mechanic that good, and it
that's something we wouldn't even done. We would have come up with
at least a metal. Don't even say that.
I think we would have come up with a metal, put a bunch of washers in there or something.
Well, true. We probably would have tried to find some washers, but I told Kenny, go ahead and put the alternator in there with the earpiece on there and tighten it up, and it should be fine while I look for another alternator bracket, because it'll be contacted up here.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going on a 1,000-mile journey with it like that, but so got to find a
alternator bracket.
Alternator bracket, or find somebody that TIG weld that back on. Guess we could do that too.
Yeah.
Sitting here, and Kenny's like, hey, shit, wonder about some JB weld. And I was like, oh man, ask and you shall receive. Got a brand new tube of that. Don't have any Loctite, but I do have JB weld. So he's gonna just go ahead and mix up a little JB weld and put it on that piece and then bolt everything together. Worst case scenario, it holds for a little bit. I mean, like I said, we can't break it any further, and I believe that this is gonna tighten down just fine.
Yeah, I think it was gonna tighten down just perfect, actually.
Yeah, but he's going to go ahead and look. It's even a nice clean surface for the JB to adhere to. So, good idea, brother.
Okay, I gooped some JB Weld on the ear that fell off. So I'm gonna, ouch, attempt to get this in here. Oh, maybe I might need to. And I'm just gonna tighten this bad boy down, and we'll see.
Shoot, she might be good for the next 50 years.
Right? I mean, what can it hurt? Just a thought.
Yep.
Just a half incher.
So putting this back together, Kenny found this.
This is, every time I go to try to push it back on the alternator, it keeps pushing this yellow wire out of the holder. So I just spread that prong out a little bit. Hopefully it'll lock it in there. Ooh, I heard it click. So maybe now that won't, because it's tight between the valve cover and the back of the alternator. It's a little tight in here.
But maybe that was part of our charging problem. We don't know. But we do got the JB Weld down there.
Yeah,
Kenny's just working on getting this back together. And after this, we'll get it down. Well, we'll check the shift linkage after he gets this back together. I got everything tightened back up. Oh, I do need to go down there and check the oil pan bolts real quick. So I threw a socket and ratchet on the pan bolts, and they're all pretty tight. So I'm thinking we just need to get a new pan gasket, do a filter, put that back together, and hopefully that'll end some of the leaking. Okay, so we're in drive. The transmission was in drive. Everything's tightened down. I'm gonna have Kenny roll it to park. Park, locked in.
Park locked in.
And that should be parked right there.
You want me to see if it starts? Oh, fucking keys on.
Well, that's all right. Do I want you to start? No, I think I want to see it when we're down on the ground. Okay, so the shifter's working. I was down underneath the car when you seen that. Now we're going to start this up while we got it. See if we get rid of the gen light. Gen light's on. Starting. Woohoo! Gen light's out. Now we need to go test to see if it's, you want to grab the multimeter and we'll test to see if it's, we're 14, put off the brake. Meter is right there, third drawer down. It says meters. Kenny's gonna see if we're getting 14 volts. Well, shit, we're still not getting, it's better than it was. The gen light's out. It's going up.
Rev it up a little bit, see if it's spinning a little faster.
Okay, I think you can leave the red one jammed in there. Kenny's gonna.
Yeah, she jumps up to 14, Ray.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, you could have reached under there and worked the throttle right there, dude.
There's the big brother being smart ass again, and I could have reached underneath there and worked the throttle. He's absolutely right. But so we're gonna get Goldie down on the ground, and we're gonna go up to Midas. Kenny's going to go ahead and he's going to drive up to Midas.
Let him blow out of here.
Yep. hasn't driven old Goldie yet, so Jack's right there. In case you guys were wondering what happened. See, that's what I did and caused a whole bunch of problems. He's trying to leave some black marks in the garage. You better get on it if you're going to do that. Brothers, what can you do with them? There goes Kenny on his way to Midas. I'm going to follow him up there just in case they allow us to drop it off. My first time driving Goldie. We're gonna take her up to Midas. The old girl rides pretty good. It'll ride even better once Ray gets the suspension on her. Got Pumbaa as a road mate. Woo. And Pumbaa's going for a ride across the dashboard. She's pretty gaseous in here, and I got both windows open. But we're taking her up to Midas to see if we can get that remedy fixed. So, but she rides pretty good. She's a good old car. Goldie's going up in the air to get a new exhaust, maybe. Get a quote right now. By the way, the muffler on the other side is also, not the muffler, the mud flap on the other side is also loose and flapping when you're going down the road, yeah. Oh, there's some rope. What the hell? Where'd that come from? It's wrapped around the shock, so. Oh. Goldie's going up. We're going to take a look at her undercarriage here where we can. Don't want to step in their bay, but get a good look at her. Crazy. Okay, filming. All right, so we're not gonna do the exhaust, and I will go over with that with you in a minute, but we do have a couple more things. Kenny's gonna start on the door locks. And we had to buy a specialty tool because these hand cranks, they have a little clip that hold them on. So Ray had to, while he was out. And maybe there's a way to you can get around it without the tool. But I had a $15 off O'Reilly's rewards, so the tool was free. So can't go wrong there. So Kenny's gonna work on that. I will go over this receipt with everybody. It doesn't matter. It was I think I mentioned where we were, but they want $1,000. 1,000 and 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 1 just to do a single exhaust, not even the full exhaust, just a mid pipe and a muffler and the tailpipe. And adding the brake line repair, one brake line bumps it up to $1,415 because it was $40 for a brake line, $278 to install it, but the one that gets me is the brake fluid. $10 for the brake fluid, that's fine, but $65 to dump the brake fluid into the reservoir. Now maybe that counts bleeding the brakes and everything. They don't say that, but that probably does. But I think for this amount of money, Kenny and I, we priced a set of...
Well, this is at O'Reilly's.
We priced a set of aftermarket exhaust and everything. O'Reilly's has got a full kit. Dual exhaust from the exhaust manifolds back for $380 with muffler. So yeah. I think you guys will be seeing us doing the exhaust in a future video. But we also got these, and I'll unbox those in a second.
Okay, everyone, I got that. So this goes on, and that tool pushes that clip like it's sitting, so you can slide this off of the pin, and then just to put it back on, you just slide that back on, and then slide this in, and it rides into that groove right there on the pin. It's kind of hard to see that groove because of the sun, but got that handle off. I got some screws in this handle. There's 4 screws, or at least there's one down here, one right here, one right here, and then I don't know if I have to, I'm sure I'll have to take that off. And then all these ones here at the bottom, they're already broke off. This is the one thing he's probably gonna have to buy, his new door panels, because it's all bowed out and stuff. So yeah, I'll get these out and see if I can get, and I gotta unscrew the door lock knob to get it off. But yeah, we'll get this panel off here. Okay, so I got the armrest off, 3 bolts like I showed you. So on the handle here, there is another one of those clips like that's on the door. I have to get that pushed off so I can pull that off of there. And then hopefully this will slide up off of here, other than I don't know about the mirror adjustment thing here yet.
Okay, so inside the box, by the way, I just want to point this out. This is obviously from the Smile Company, but made to fit your order box, which is pretty cool because I've gotten a little tiny thing in a gigantic box with a pound of paper in it before. So I already opened it so I could film, but inside of here, hopefully, is, well, another box. And what is in this box? Well, they're not making it.
A little black box.
A little black box, yeah. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Kenny just asked me if I had a knife. All right, let's go get a knife. Well, Kenny's got a knife. Look at that. Always prepared. He was a Boy Scout, folks. Whereas I was not. Yeah, I think I did it one summer maybe. Anyhow, I don't know what that is. Gonna check that out. We have some LED bulbs for the front of Goldie. So I'm gonna set up on time lapse and change these out. Now, funny thing about this, I was gonna buy just some of these sealed bulbs from O'Reilly's, $113 a piece. The guy at O'Reilly's is like, just go to Amazon and get a set of the LEDs. They're like 130 bucks. That was shipped
4 of them.
Shipped to Alaska, $130 for 4. $113 a piece. Couldn't believe it. Anyhow, while Kenny's working on the doors, I'm gonna go ahead and get some bright lights in her. So inside that blue envelope was this little black thing, and in there is a little multi-tool.
Here's a number 2 if you need it.
And it's got a sharp edge. I mean, it's a pretty neat little tool. Stainless steel even. Multi-purpose pocket survival tool. Thanks, Belton Road. Kenny taking the driver's side door panel off, which I would have assumed was off already because the door lock was off, and I'm sure that panel's been off, and he goes, oh, guess what I found? Guess what he found there? This is a build sheet. A build sheet for, well, I'm assuming she's for Goldie. Let's see. Kenny's mangling it all up here.
No, it was stuck to the cord.
That's a 50.
Ah, damn, there's some numbers on there.
There's some numbers on there. Like I said, Kenny's mangling all up. Oh, let's go take a look. Wonder what, maybe we can pull that corner off. I'm just looking for, oh, this was sold in Anchorage, Alaska.
He told me.
Fremont, California. I'm just looking for the, oh, there's the VIN. Oh, the VIN, Kenny. The VIN is the part that is stuck on the door. 315, or Z1315. And I think that jives so far. 1315. 93 is the last two. Is that a 9? 1315. Man, I'm gonna have to see if I can slowly get that piece of paper off of there to verify if that's the pin. He's trying to detach this.
This is the mirror adjuster.
Oh, it's got remote mirror adjust. I didn't realize that. I've been hitting it with my fingers. But still, that's a score right there. Kenny just realized he's grabbing the window crank because
Where did that go?
we need the window up
to
so-
get to the...
to get at the hole to put the new door lock in. Anyhow, guys, we you know, it's the can of corn's fault. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to. So here's the two new door locks. The big clips, Kenny's got those. Oh, right there are the big clips. And then there's the little clips that slide on the tail end of this. Well, we just realized in the driver's side door, down in here, when you, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that movement up in there. Sorry, folks, I'm trying to get it to focus on. See that bar right there moving up and down? That's when I'm locking the door with the thing. Well, there's nothing to connect that rod to the back of here, so when you put the key in and twist, it locks and unlocks the door. The passenger side door, Kenny's over disassembling because it still has its lock in it. So we're hoping that the piece is connected in there so we can see what it is and maybe try to find one for the driver's side door. And worst case scenario, we can put new door lock in here so we can lock it, and then
Or I can take the piece off of this old lock and put it on that side.
if it's not different passenger side to driver side, I don't know why it would be, but who knows?
Yeah.
But we could
try.
if we have the piece, then yeah, Kenny could just move that piece over there, and then we just put the new lock in there while we look for a piece. So at least we could lock Goldie up and then unlock via driver's side door.
Okay, so I got the passenger door tore apart, as you can see. That horseshoe, that gold piece that's hooked to the lock, that's the piece we're missing on the driver's side. So I'm gonna disassemble that. I gotta take the big clip off of the lock and the little clip to get that out of there. So that's what I'm working on, getting that out of there. Hopefully this is not side specific. Okay, so I got this out and it comes out really easy. You pull this big clip out. Where did it go? It slid down. That clip right there holds this lock in the door, and then I just pulled it out of the door. It comes out really easy. The longest part is taking the panel off the door.
Okay, so Kenny brought the old lock from the passenger door, and he left that gold piece clipped on there because you can just slide it in the hole of the door. And we're just making sure that it fits on driver side, passenger side, and there it is, actuating with the
old lock. We just don't know what the key orientation
is. But when you pull that off and put that gold clip on the new lock, we can orient it the right way. Because you're gonna either pull this clip off and have it going out to the left on the new lock or out to the right on the new lock to make it left or up, the key up or down.
Yeah, and if the teeth are down the way we want them and it's this way, then it won't. Then this is side specific.
No, you just flip the whole bracket over on the other side.
You can't, because see, this fits on there. It's gonna only go on the lock one way.
Okay. Yes. All right. Well, we're gonna find out, folks. Okay. We got the. We're gonna try, even if the key's upside down, because that bracket is
basically side specific.
Basically side specific. Yes. So we're just gonna go ahead and put this. If we got to turn the key upside down to lock and unlock, at least we'll be able to come in and out the driver's side instead of going and unlocking the passenger side, reaching across. It'll just be easier. So, and we're getting late in the evening here. I'm not going to get to the headlights in this video. They also said another reason why. They said that they have an invitation to film an installing video. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that and just make a video just installing these, and we can send it to them and see if they like it as well. We'll still upload it to the channel, but we'll include a step-by-step instructions for the headlights in Goldie. But we're just gonna get this one installed, see if it works, hang the door panels, and call it a video.
You want to hold the door lock in for me?
Sure. All right. Well, key is upside down. We knew that, but locked, unlocked, straight up and down. Pull the key out. I am A-okay with that. Now I just got to find one of those gold pieces. I'm sure I find one online. Kenny's going to put the door panels back on, and we're going to call her a night. Kenny's doing the door panels. I'm going to be honest, folks. This video is more of Kenny doing work than I am. I've been balancing.
There's been a lot of videos that you do more work than I do. So
yeah, but I've also been balancing. I got some baby back ribs on the smoker going all day, so I've been running up and taking care of those, and running around and taking care of some business today that I had to take care of, and yeah. let's get that light out of the door. Yeah, don't do that anymore. Goldie transformation. Engaged. So when Kenny was tearing apart these door panels, he noticed that the holes were pretty big on the bottom and tore through the door panel, but all the screws were down in the door. So we just pulled a screw out, and I have these finishing washers that look like they're going to allow us to put them on and maybe grab a couple of these. Maybe it's not going to work on all of them. Maybe I got to get a bigger washer on some of them, but we're going to try to get the bottom reattached so it's not flopping so much and kicking it, especially up there. If we could get it, because you catch it with your feet getting it out. I do need to buy some new door panels. Just find them, buy them, change out those. So Kenny's still putting the panels back together, and I figured I'd show you guys a little something here that I've been doing on the side. There's the baby back ribs. They're horrible. I mean, they turned out like the worst I've ever had, so I'm not sharing any of them with Kenny because I don't want him to get mad at me for eating horrible food. But yeah, we're just you know, having some ribs, drinking some beer, putting Goldie back together.
Oh,
so
she ain't. Maybe.
Had to go with a little bigger washer.
I
don't think it's gonna get in there.
That's not enough. I gotta get it in the hole first, though.
Oh, gotta get that in the hole too.
Wow. So they put them are metal.
We're working with some seriously tore up door panels, folks. We're just trying to make them as good as we can. Kenny got that bottom one in with a bigger, longer screw and a bigger washer. Looks like he might have had a front one in too.
Well, no, this is the one before the front one. There's one more right here.
Anyhow, that one he's twisting.
Yep.
He's getting it's. We're gonna try to get that very front one, but at least it'll hold the panel for the time being better than it was. So Kenny and I were just discussing this. That panel right there is so wet and damaged, and it's shrunk. He can't even get those anywhere near being bolted in. But we got 3 bolts across, or screws across the bottom, which is better than what it was.
Yep.
Which is totally amazing. That door panel in that lower corner is just like, this is the passenger side one, and it's the same shape. So how did the build sheet survive for 54 years on that driver's side door panel with that amount of water damage? And that build sheet was right there in front of the, or to the rear
right
of
here.
Yeah, a little closer to the adjustment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was right in this area right here on the back side of that panel.
Yeah. So, really amazing that build sheet survived.
So that door is all back together now. Got the handles on, everything's...
Show them the movement. No, not that one. There we go. All right, and right there, I think I'm going to give Kenny a reprieve because he's got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I will put the door panel together tomorrow and maybe film the headlights, but that'll be a separate video. We're gonna call it a night here, folks. Okay, Kenny just locked this door. We still have the passenger side open. We want to test it while it's closed before we go lock it.
Unlock.
There we go. All right, so Goldie's gonna, man,
like we knew what we're doing.
Except the key's upside down and the little brackets on the wrong side. But other than that, it works because that's the door we're going to be going in and out most.
Yep.
So yeah, now we can lock Goldie. I mean, trunk locks, door locks. It's a good thing, folks. More to come. All right, everybody. It's the next day after Kenny got that door panel put back together. I said I was going to make a separate video of me doing this today and maybe the headlights, but I'm getting really close to going back to work. So I decided I'm just going to put the door panel back together, and I'll leave the headlights for Kenny. Kenny can film that and on his own, and we'll have that done up. Or if it waits until I get home next time, that's fine. But so I'm just probably gonna set up a time lapse real quick of this, and then call it good. There's the passenger side back on. I adapted some different washers on this one just till we get it maybe a new panel. I don't know if anybody does these custom panels. It might be a totally different trim level. I'll have to do some research, but handle works, window crank works. So the interior's back together. We are going to leave the console out of it because I think carpet's coming, so why put it back in till we get the carpet. All right, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers, brother.
So, kind of a weird day with Goldie, but a good day.
Yeah, good day. We got the shifter working correctly.
That was the big thing. That was such a weird coincidence of events to leave me stranded,
Yeah.
but
whatever. I
whatever.
just can't believe those two little bolts that hold the silver thing for the handle, the horseshoe that lift up a little bit. It went farther than the park hole.
And then there was no way to get it back until we got it disassembled. So
and he loosened that bolt a little more, and it come right out of that thing. So yeah.
But she's back to running and driving. Kenny drove it up to the muffler place, and you guys
it drives really good, actually. I mean,
that was his first time driving it, so I let him drive. And no, we had some terrible smoked baby back ribs just a second ago.
They weren't good at all.
No, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that. So obviously, I'm a skinny guy. So I don't know how to cook at all. Neither does Ken. But we hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's going to be
many more. It's like the Big Bertha saga.
The Big Bertha saga.
Goldie saga.
Yep. But Goldie's been treating us a little bit better than Bertha.
Yeah.
She got a little testy on Father's Day with me, but that's all right. We got her back. Anyhow, folks.
And I figure, I do believe until he does do the fuel injection system on this, we might want to up the idle a little bit, because I was stopping at the red lights and stuff. I was putting her in neutral and just keeping my foot on the.
It's a little weird when you pull up to a stoplight, right? Because the idle drops. We do need to adjust that, and Kenny just dropped one of the hints of what we have coming for her.
I didn't tell you what it's gonna be. It just
yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. Eventually,
yeah,
she's gonna get that FI.
Exhaust is gonna be the first thing, because it gets pretty gaseous in the even with the windows down. it starts making your stomach kind of hurt a little bit.
Yeah. The exhaust is gonna be done by Two Drunk Brothers Garage now,
yeah.
because we can get the parts for half.
And a dual exhaust, not a single.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not bad mouthing anybody. I don't want to.
The labor prices are just ridiculous.
Yeah. And
we understand that, but
yeah, but we can also do it and film it and have content.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
I'm getting ready to leave again for work, but that's okay. You guys will see videos coming. We got it lined out. So.
Yep.
If you guys like the video, please
hit the thumbs up.
That's right.
Comment
and
subscribe.
We try to reply.
Yeah.
Subscription would be great. We're 524 or something.
27 last time I looked.
Well, it might have been 529 this morning.
Yeah,
so we're getting up there. Maybe 1,000 be great.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do another giveaway. I don't know. Yeah. The last one went okay. The first one not so okay.
But we might have made 2 questions too hard for somebody.
It's all right. Anyhow, folks, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers,
brother. Ken.
Ray.
Two Drunk Brothers Garage.
Thanks
for watching.